Continuing down the insanity path. Other signs, symptoms of insanity. You are making me when they're not touching you at all. It's a sign of mental problems. If no one is physically touching you, how can they be making you do anything? Let me use myself as an example. You're making us all look bad. He's gonna make us all look bad. Even the leaders. Hey, he's making us look weak and dumb. If he makes us look dumb and weak to our enemy, they'll just come over here and take over and do everything. Let me tell you something, nut job. Sound can't make anything but noise. Sound can't make anything happen. It would have to be an extreme sound, and that would be vibration making it happen. Not only can't sound make anything look a different way, sound can't change a look how something looks, right? You can't make anything look like something else unless you add something else to it. Sound doesn't do that. You have to cover it with something to make it to disguise it as something else. Sound doesn't do that. Okay? No one's making you hot because they have a coat on. You have a mental problem. No one's making you, if they're making you nervous because they're standing up and you want them to sit down, you have a mental problem. If they're talking too loud for you, it is a sign of a mental problem when you go around shushing people. Ooh, you're talking too loud, you're hurting my head. Then you need to check your head. Another sign of that same mental problem is the lights bothering you. Cut some of these lights out. These lights are bothering me. You have issues, more than issues. You have serious problems that need to be treated. If something that is not touching you is making you do anything, there is something wrong with your mind. He's just making more problems for everyone. You can't make problems or anything. A problem is not a thing. When they aren't specific, they don't know what they're talking about. If someone comes to you telling you what someone says and they use words like talking crap or talking shit, means they can't tell you what that person said. They can't repeat it. So they substitute words like crap. This is a sign of a weak mind, right? Cursing is a sign of a weak mind. Curse words, there really no such thing as curse words. Some man made up all words and decided which ones were bad and good. And it's still going on right now. So you be at the mercy of other people making decisions of sounds for you if you want to. Now, curse words are substitute words. They're called lazy words. Okay, instead of saying the ragged car or the broken car or the blue car or the red car, they'll say the damn car. Okay? It's a lazy mind that doesn't want to take the time to be specific. It doesn't want to give details. And that don't want to give details doesn't think in detail. That's called vague. Vague thinking is foggy. All right? It's not accurate. It's not clear. In other words, your mind is not clear. Your thoughts are not clear because of this process. And that's basically it. If your actions are being influenced by something that isn't directly pushing you, if nothing's pulling you or pushing you and you're moving and it's not on your own of your own free will, you're being influenced by something. You're being manipulated by something outside your body. Now, if it's forcibly manipulating you, I can see if it grabs you and tosses you or pushes you. But sound shouldn't be pushing you around and controlling your actions. Those sounds shouldn't even be putting pictures in your mind. It's a game set up by men called language. And different groups of men set up different languages. So funny thing about language, the learners will never ever be as good as the creators. So they'll always be at a disadvantage. Not quite as articulate. Not so not as good at getting their point across. I can't seem to find the right words. Do you get my drift? But it's a game designed to do just that, manipulate you, to control your actions, to dictate your actions. By giving your actions a label and attaching a sound to them. And that sound is used to manipulate you. So be careful next time you use the word make. Something is making something happen, alright? As far as I know, make kind of means create, and you don't have that ability. You have the ability to mix things, blend and bond things together that are already here when you get here. You don't bring anything new into this world. You don't make anything. You don't create anything. If you're being pushed around by sound, it is a sign of an informational mental problem. Taught to you, given to you, handed to you, whatever, you picked it up or whatever. It gets bad. Let me tell you about my culture and how bad it's become for them. They have become so susceptible to sound that their mood is dictated by the song that they're listening to at the moment. You can send them on an emotional roller coaster by just DJing. I'm serious, you can make them happy, sad, mad, all this because they feel the song, the music too much. In other words, instead of thinking their own thoughts, they're picturing what the artist is saying on the record so vividly. It's replacing their own thinking. So now the record is doing the thinking for them. They think they're imagining, but that's not what's happening. Their own mind is being replaced with artificial one. Their own thoughts are being placed with artificial thoughts. Instead of them thinking their own thoughts, only thing going down in their mind is what is playing in the movie. You're not having any other thoughts but the movie. If you interrupt the movie taking over their brain, they'll get mad. Hey, I'm watching a movie. Don't interrupt my brain take over. I'm listening to this song. Could you be quiet? That type of thing. Giving up their mind to an artificial outside thought source. Google has all but replaced their brain. They no longer can spell because of spell check. Automatic correction. I don't have to know the word. I'll just say it and it'll spell the right word that I don't even know. I don't even know how to spell the word. I don't even know how to spell the words that I'm speaking. But when you see my writing, it's perfect because I don't know how to write anymore. Just push these buttons. And I'm getting too lazy to text. I just want to talk and type. I want to speak and type. I'm going to lose my ability to write. And I'm going to lose my ability to read and not know it. Because spelling is part of reading. You could think because think you're reading on a computer, but you're not. Because you have to learn to spell before you can read. Remember that? So if you lose your spelling, you lose your reading, and you don't even know it. You don't even see it happening. As you no longer can spell for some reason, you no longer can read. Now you don't even want to read it. You want them to make a movie about it. If they don't make a movie about it, you're not going to learn it. The least you're going to settle for is you got to make a song about it. You know that it's a fact. Everything you attempted to teach your kid, you're not sure if they learned it. But they know every word of that song, every word of all the songs. But they don't remember what you taught them. Maybe you should start singing. Get the hint? Why does the president sing? How dumb can you get? But they're not the only ones that's susceptible, okay? You all are. I just gave them as an example, okay? Because they are extreme. You are manipulated by sounds. Sounds you are not creating. Sounds that nothing is creating. Not an elephant, not a car. Sounds that are not being created by anything. Sounds made up by people. Different sounds that are only made by people. Okay? None of the things that they're talking about make the sounds that they're talking about. Only people make those sounds.